Just a quick review of Afghanistan's T20 squad against India. In terms of importance of this series, it's obviously crucial. Afghanistan have never played India in a bilateral series before. They've only played one test game, which was in India. So it's the first ever white ball series, and it's good to see that finally happening. This was something that was missing in the Afghan cricket on international level. Coming to the squad, the good news is that Rashid Khan is back. He was inactive in the last couple of months due to his back surgery. He's still recovering from that, and according to my sources, he will most likely not play any of the 3 games. But it's a good opportunity for him to, observe things from outside and see what can work best for him, going forward to the T20 World Cup and building up to that. The other good news is that the trio, which was under restrictions from the cricket board in the recent weeks, Naveen al-Haq, Fazal Haq Farooqi and Mujibur Rahman, they're back in the squad, even though Naveen and Farooqi played the earlier series against the UAE. But Mujib was missing, and it's good to see him back. And that basically means that their dispute and those disagreements with the board have kind of been resolved, and they've reached common grounds, which is a good news for the Afghan cricket going forward. The T20 World Cup is coming up, and it would have been brutal to not see them in the team. Mujib's role will obviously be crucial in Rashid's absence. He's that frontline spinner who've been performing consistently for Afghanistan in the shorter format. So when Rashid is away, obviously they need someone like Mujib to rely on, to take that senior role. And Qais Ahmad is the other new name in the squad. He's been a familiar name in franchise cricket, but haven't really had that opportunity to represent Afghanistan consistently. And the reasons are obvious. And in the presence of Rashid and Mujib, it's quite difficult for other players to come up and get that opportunity. Afghanistan has other very good spinners. Nur Ahmad too hasn't really played international cricket for Afghanistan. Naveed is the other name, Izharul Haq Naveed, Zahir Khan, Hamza Hotak. So these are the names that, I think if they were playing for any other countries, they would have consistently played for the national team. But when it comes to Afghanistan, obviously it's quite tough for them to make it to the team. So I'm glad to see Qais Ahmad in the squad. He's quite handy with the bat too, and his performance against the UAE, the T20 series which just concluded before this, has been quite good. He was the most wicket taker, and that's a good sign. To be fair, Afghanistan didn't really miss Rashid in that series, and that was purely due to Qais Ahmad's performance. Mujib wasn't in the squad as well, so that's good to see. Noor Ahmad is obviously young. He's had that experience of playing the IPL. He was very good in the recent World Cup, you might have seen. So it's good to see him being trusted for such an important series, and I think he'll be needed as well. Looking at the Indian conditions and his performance in India, he'll also be important. Muhammad Nabi is obviously the other spin bowling all-rounder who's in the team, and he's someone who can really help bring the team together. That too, when Rashid is away, will also be important to give that anchor role to the newly appointed captain Ibrahim, who was quite impressive in the recent series against the UAE. But Nabi's role around him will be really important. So in total, there are 5 all-rounders, 6 batters, 4 spinners and 4 fast bowlers. Naveen al-Haq, Fareed Malik, Fazal Haq Farooqi and Salim Safi. The 2 regulars are obviously Naveen al-Haq and Fazal Haq Farooqi. But it's good to see Salim Safi also part of the squad. He was part of the squad in the last World Cup, but didn't play any of the games. Batting wise, there are 6 batters. The 2 openers are Rahmanullah Gurbaz and Hazratullah Zazai. Zazai's presence in the team and selection in the team have been questioned a lot, and which is fair to an extent due to his recent performances, and the question marks around his fitness. But every team has that one X-factor player that you can count on, and for me, I think in Afghanistan that would be Hazratullah Zazai. He has proved that in the past. And if Afghanistan is going to the next stage or winning a few games, I think one of the key players they will be relying on, if he makes it to the World Cup squad, it'll be Hazratullah Zazai. Whenever Afghanistan have had a good opening start, they've almost gone over the line in most of the games. So the two opening pair, both are quite aggressive, fearless in their approach. So I think they'll be crucial. And one down for Afghanistan is the skipper himself, Ibrahim Zadran. If things don't go according to plan, he's someone that you can really count on in that one down position. He's quite calculative in his approach, and you can really count on him to build up the innings from there. Muhammad Nabi, as mentioned, obviously the bowling all-rounder, Najibullah Zadran. Wicket keeper option is Ikram Ali Khail. I'm not sure if he will, have an opportunity to play any of the games, but if Rahmanullah Gurbaz is not available due to any reasons, he'll be the next option. The two batters that were part of the squad in the recent UAE series, Sadiq Atal and Muhammad Ishaq. I personally think Ishaq would have been a much better option. Having seen him, in domestic cricket, he's someone that you can really, trust with that responsibility. Sadiq Atal, I've personally observed and watched him during the Under-19 World Cup. He only played one game there against the hosts, South Africa. Where he was quite impressive. He was also, his record, domestic level is quite good too. So for me, I think it would have been good if someone like him or Muhammad Ishaq was, being picked for this series. Or even in the final T20 squad, which I think is too early to judge or comment on. They didn't really get that opportunity to prove themselves. They didn't play any of the games in the recent series against the UAE, but it's sad to see them being dropped. So overall, I think it's a fairly balanced squad. It'll be good to see them going over the line in at least one of the games, but I don't think it'll be easy to beat India in India. But despite the result of the series, I think it's a good opportunity for Afghanistan to play some good and competitive cricket against a top team, and I wish them best of luck.